Tuesday on One.
Right, let's talk about Agthia, the Abu Dhabi food company now. Joining us on the line is the Chief Executive Officer, Alan Smith. Morning, Alan.
Morning, Richard. How are you doing?
I'm really good, thanks very much indeed. So we got your numbers out this week. The headline is net profit down 74% last year, but that doesn't paint the whole picture, does it? Because revenue was actually up by about 1%, and you're undergoing what you as the company call transformational changes. So what is the story behind the numbers, Alan?
So, Richard, as you say, I mean, if we look at 2020, I think it was a year of exceptional market conditions. But for Agthia, it was a year of transformational change. So, obviously, we changed the board of directors. I came in around July. We have a new CFO. We've made certain interventions on the leadership team. I think, in the first half of the year, we'd say the response to COVID was very impressive by the team in terms of adjusting to be able to meet supply, make sure we had the right inventories to meet consumer demand. So fairly operational first half of the year. In the third quarter, we made some significant adjustments to the balance sheet, which obviously had a big negative on the profit line. And then I think as we go into Q4, you start to see where the company's going with the company announcing 3 accretive transactions and the business normalize in terms of top line and bottom line.
First of all, let's just put to bed why last year, because you said what you call the normalized profit was over 100 million dirhams, but you had these one-offs of just over 80 million dirhams, which is significant for a company of Agthia's size. What was happening there, Alan?
So firstly, obviously with COVID, there was an impact on liquidity in the market. So during quarter 3, we took a fairly detailed look at the balance sheet. We looked at the outstandings and we made some fairly significant decisions in terms of accruals for bad debt, predominantly in Saudi Arabia.
And who was owing that money, Alan? Was this the food service business? Was this the restaurant and the hotels business? What was it?
Our water business is mainly operational out of Jeddah, so we had a very big seasonal business related to the religious seasons, and many of the customers who bought in 2019 came in difficulties in 2020 because of the situation. So it's less about food service and more about the businesses that were servicing that sector.
Okay, fine. So that's 2020, a challenging year, you say, but you've now got the business set up for growth in 2021. I'm interested in this idea of transformational change, which is a statement that you and the guys at Agthia are making many, many times. I mean, a simple consumer and a loyal fan of Alain water, I bought a bottle of it yesterday. It didn't seem much different to the Alain water I bought 5 or 10 years ago. So what's transformational about this?
So what we're looking at as an organisation, obviously Alain is a very important part of our business. If you look at our total water business, it's around 800 million dirhams. But what Agthia is looking to do is to diversify its interests and move more into the consumer product space. So Alain is an example of a great consumer product. We wanted to change the mix of the business. We wanted to increase the contribution of our consumer side, and that's what we've been doing with the recent M&A activity that we've had in the market. And the other thing is obviously being very UAE-centric. Traditionally, we've made some investments overseas that we see as subscale. So we're looking to scale up internationally. We're looking to move into more consumer-branded products to change the overall balance in the business.
Just on the water business, Arnaud has written in one of our listeners with a really interesting question. Arnaud says, more and more hotels and homes are using water filters now. Could this pose an existential threat to the bottled water business, which you and others are in?
Look, I think the trend on filtered water also ties in with the overall consumer concern about sustainability. This is a big, interesting topic for the industry. Just recently at Gulf Foods, we again launched our plant-based bottle. This is a bottle that looks like a normal PET bottle, but actually when you put it into landfill, decomposes in 90 days. So this is just an idea of some of the things that we're trying to do from an innovation point of view, to listen to consumers and make sure that we're addressing the needs as we move forward and the concerns of consumers as we move forward.
A final quick question on dates. It's a few months since you completed the acquisition of Alfoa, which is by some measures the world's largest date processing plant. Where are you going to take the date business? Clearly, the holy month of Ramadan's coming up. We know it's busy. You'll do a lot of business then. But in 3 to 5 years' time, how do you the date business? Where could you take it?
I love the dates category. If you think about it, it's a snacking category. It's a superfood. It has unlimited potential, in my opinion. If you look, we can premiumize the dates in terms of gifting. We can start to use dates as an ingredient. We can create date bars. We can create occasions. So I think we predominantly, a lot of the business, a lot of the sales are in Asia. So we will continue to build that market, but we'll also look at the more value-add markets such as Europe and the US. So we see this category as very interesting moving forward.
Alan, great speaking to you. Appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck with your transformational change. That is the Group Chief Executive Officer of Agthia, Alan Smith. What do we think about the date market? I mean, we've all lived here for more than 20 years, but it's not something you eat every day. Could that change? He calls it a superfood. Could you replace your spinach smoothies in the morning with dates?
Not sure about the sugar content of that swap, to be perfectly honest, Rich.
Yeah, it could be an issue there. You're listening to the Business Breakfast, Dubai Eye 1.